At breakfast on Wednesday, Semple pondered anew Miss E.B.'s effect on him, but any conclusion on the matter eluded him. When snack time approached, Semple went into the hall. Tray in her hands, the housekeeper studied her employer with pursed lips. Miss E.B., I intend to invite a lady to supper in the next week or so, and I thought that in preparation for the event I could suggest a menu. A grimace tempered her nod of assent. Semple smiled. Excellent. Lady Alice's attendant eased a knee-length coat of mail over her head and settled it onto her shoulders. If a dragon was flitting around the valley, the noblewoman was skeptical about how much protection the woven metal links would afford against its razor-sharp claws. Nonetheless, she knew the silvery mail would symbolize her willingness to do battle on her people's behalf. Alice dismissed the servant. McBain waited by the chamber door, unable to conceal his amusement. I doubt you ever laughed when my husband looked like this. I mean no respect, milady, but I wonder whether we are preparing to withstand a threat that, well, may not exist. There was vigorous hammering on the door. McBlain drew his weapon and opened it. An agitated bowman there reported that Castle Askerton was under attack. The bodyguard ordered him to call out the guard, and then he and Alice rushed to the battlements. Semple was on a mission when he went to the Red Lion in the evening. Consulting their diaries, Semple's was a traditional pocket-sized volume bound in tan leather. Tacy used a smartphone app. They settled on a date for her visit. It was a late July afternoon. The Aries windows were thrown open to catch any zephyr that chanced to come along. Semple was at the desk, dabbing sweat from his forehead and swatting at the occasional insect. Mr. Semple, the irritated housekeeper was in the hall. Can you not hear bell? Wondering why it fell to him to answer it, Semple went to the front door. Wrenna! Semple's elder daughter was on the stoop. Her appearance matched that of the woman at her side. Both of their hair and eyebrows exhibited a deep shade of plum. Hello, Father. I hope our arriving without notice hasn't caught you out. Wrenna and her traveling companion, whose name was Algeberta, shed their rucksacks in the entrance hallway. Once they were in the parlor, Semple went to the kitchen and asked Miss B to make coffee for 3. Algeberta was a dour German of few words. When the housekeeper brought in the tray, there was a flicker of recognition as their eyes met. Wrenna bit into a piece of buttery shortbread. Algeberta and I work in the same department. When I told Herr Klemperer about my plans, he said she ought to come along. How long might you be here? A couple or 3 days. We can share my old bedroom. That is where Miss E.B. stays. Take mine. I will sleep here in the parlor. The ladies went out for a curry, as Wrenna wanted to introduce her colleague to the local sights. Semple, who spent the evening in an engrossing history of the Norman conquest, was in the lavatory when they returned. Wrenna went right upstairs. Algeberta wandered into the kitchen. Miss E.B. was at the table, a bottle and 2 glasses before her. Join me in savoring the product of your estate. I brought it along to remind me of home. Algeberta sat down as the individual opposite her grew in stature, taking on scales, wicked claws, piercing eyes, and a tail that swished back and forth over the sea foam green linoleum. In response, a figure clad in mail replaced the German. Lady Alice pushed up her helmet's visor and emptied her glass at one go. She smacked her lips. I suppose I ought to thank you for your thoughtfulness, Ezekiel Bosu. I wouldn't have expected to enjoy wine from my own cellar here. How did you obtain it? Alice, you know better than to believe that every soul in Castle Askerton is your devoted subject. It didn't take long to find a malleable mind to do my bidding. Let us cut to the chase. The noblewoman refilled their glasses. Why came you here? This Semple is a gifted writer, one whose novel could alter events in our world. Alice listened. Our adversary had added to the siege of Castle Askerton, Bosu explained that Semple tried to excise her text, but the dragon was confident enough of it would remain intact to reach the desired conclusion. And that would be? Bosu stretched her wings. Simply put, I seek the downfall of Castle Askerton and the subjugation of its mistress and her subjects. How can you imagine that I'd permit that to happen, Bosu? Footfalls on the stairs interrupted the tense conversation. When Semple entered the kitchen, Miss Eve was at the sink, and Algeberta at the table. The wine and glasses had shimmered into nothingness. I just wanted to make sure that all was well with you, Algeberta. The woman flashed her small smile. Semple held up his pajamas, which were white with green pinstripes. I'm off to bed. Pleasant dreams, all. After Semple's departure, the dragon and noblewoman retained their alternate appearances. Algeberta got up, feeling for the handle of the sword that wasn't there. You cannot destroy everything built by generations of my husband's family, which I have driven so hard to preserve. Try and stop me, Lady Helen. Early next morning, Semple brewed his own coffee. He took a cup upstairs, booted the laptop, and opened the manuscript. He couldn't believe it when he saw that the Siege of Castle Askerton was 53 pages longer than before. Weary of trying to pare away the extraneous content, he decided to wait until the manuscript was completed. Semple worked on until the alarm on his mobile chimed, alerting him that it was time to prepare for the evening. He partook of a long shower and trimmed a few errant mustache and nose hairs. Unwrapping a pale blue dress shirt that the Pakistani haberdasher promised would make him look 2 kilograms lighter, he was pleased at how it complemented his navy suit and red tie. Downstairs, he took a turn around the parlor and dining room. Light from tapers on the latter's table reflected off the silver and china, which were arranged on a snowy damask tablecloth. Everything was shipshape and Bristol fashion, as he knew it would be. Without thinking, Semple violated the sanctity of the kitchen. Pots bubbled away on all 4 of the cooker's heating elements, sending aloft tendrils of fragrant steam. The sight of wooden spoons in the pots, stirring without effort on the housekeeper's part, made his jaw drop. Miss E.B. turned on the intruder. That Wrenna and her friend who eat here too? I have to go shops again and have bigger work now. Semple pointed to the cooker. Miss E.B., I must know how you do that. I also demand to be told how the china was repaired. Most of all, I require you to inform me of the manner in which you access my computer, and why the devil you've been altering my novel. With a wave of her hand, the housekeeper numbed Semple's mind. All of a sudden, it didn't matter that the woman ignored his assertions, nor that the spoons in the pots were stirring with heightened briskness. The doorbell rang, and he shuffled off to answer it. To be continued.